I wake up before the noise because the markets don't just demand attention, they demand precision. I don't trade just to make money. I trade to master myself, to refine my mind until it's sharper than the spikes and dips of the charts I study. Because trading, at its core, is a psychological sport. This isn't just candlesticks and price levels. This is discipline. This is delayed gratification. This is sitting through the storm without flinching. It's developing the courage to take a loss, the humility to admit when I'm wrong, and the wisdom to know the difference between discipline and stubbornness. The chart doesn't lie. It doesn't care if I'm tired. It doesn't care about my rent or my bills. It only reflects one thing: my ability to act without emotion. To read it, not from fear or hope, but from clarity. To see patterns, not potential profits. To see risk, not just opportunity. Every trade I place, every session I study, every rule I follow, it's all building towards something bigger than the market. It's building me. I've studied the greats. Richard Dennis, who turned a few thousand into hundreds of millions. Linda Raschke, who mastered both floor trading and technical systems with surgical consistency. Paul Tudor Jones, who reminds us that risk management is not optional, it is everything. These aren't gamblers, they're tacticians. They treat trading like a business, and so do I. I'm not here to try. I'm here to build a track record. I'm here to collect data, to refine my edge until it feels like second nature. Because I don't need luck, I need discipline. And I show up every single day, not to win, but to trade well. This is not about one winning day. It's about 1,000 days done right. Because wealth doesn't come from guessing. It comes from compounding. It comes from protecting capital like it's sacred. From knowing that preservation is power. That no trade is worth blowing my account. That sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. I know what it means to sit in drawdown and not flinch. To hold the line when my emotions scream otherwise. To trust that my edge plays out over time, not in one setup, but over 100. Because I've done the work. I've tested my system. I've walked through the data. I've taken the losses. And I've learned. I journal, not because it's trendy, but because my brain lies to me when I'm emotional. And I want truth more than I want dopamine. So I record everything. I analyze everything, because mastery leaves no room for guesswork. I don't revenge trade. I don't over-leverage. I don't chase. I plan. I execute. I review. Then I repeat. I understand that trading will expose me. It will amplify every fear I've ignored and every weakness I haven't confronted. That's why I love it. Because it's more than a career. It's a mirror. A mirror that shows me where I still have work to do. And I don't run from that. I lean into it. Other people scroll. Other people snooze. Other people waste their edge at the club or on Netflix. But not me. I am building what they will wish they started. I'm stacking skill over time because skill pays longer than hype. And I don't care about fast money. I care about forever money. The kind that buys freedom, not just luxury, but peace. I move like a CEO. I track metrics. I monitor growth. I adapt my approach. I treat my trading like a business, not a slot machine. I don't trade to feel something. I trade to feel nothing, to feel centered, focused, grounded. So when the market is irrational, I am not. I understand that one trade will never make me, but one undisciplined moment can break me. So I protect my mindset like it's capital, because it is. My routine is sacred. I sleep with intention. I rise with purpose. I stretch. I breathe. I center myself because my physiology affects my psychology. And I don't leave that to chance. I practice mindfulness, not because it's spiritual, but because it's strategic. Because a reactive trader is a broke trader. And I choose awareness over autopilot. I know that I am the algorithm. My consistency becomes my edge. And that edge is more important than any single trade idea. I visualize slow execution. I rehearse my risk. I walk through drawdown scenarios until fear fades. Because when the pressure is high, I fall to my level of preparation. And I prepare obsessively. I don't pray for good entries. I position for good exits. Because I'm not chasing the market, I'm anticipating it. And if it doesn't come to me, I wait. Patience is profit. Discipline is the edge. Focus is the leverage. Every time I follow my plan, I reinforce trust in myself. Every time I respect my stop, I solidify my foundation. Every time I journal a trade, I invest in long-term clarity. This is how professionals are built, not by hype, but by habit. Not by motivation, but by consistency. This is how professionals are made, not in a moment, not in a single trade, but through thousands of hours in solitude, through careful journaling, backtesting, studying not just the market, but their own mind. They are forged in emotional restraint, in discipline when the chart is unclear, in patience when nothing moves, and in courage when the setup finally comes. They don't chase setups, they let setups come to them. They don't fight the market, they partner with its rhythm. They don't react emotionally, they respond with trained intuition. They know when not to trade. That's what separates them from the amateurs. It's not about being in the market, it's about being ready when the market invites you in. A professional trader knows cash is a position, waiting is strategy, silence is preparation. While others scroll endlessly for signals, they refine their playbook. While others panic in the face of volatility, they see opportunity in the chaos. They know emotions are data, losing trades are tuition, and setbacks are setups for comebacks. They approach each day like a CEO, not like a gambler chasing highs. They track every metric, every journal entry, not for perfection, but for mastery. Professionals build systems to protect them from themselves. They know their flaws. And they build guardrails around their weaknesses. They don't get euphoric from wins. They don't spiral from losses. They stay centered. They remain grounded. They stay in the game. Because that's what trading is, a game of emotional endurance, a game of refined execution, a game of controlled risk played over time with a long-term edge. They've read the market wizards. They've studied Soros, Druck, Livermore. Not to mimic them, but to understand their mindset, to see how they handled pressure, to learn how they came back from loss. They know trading isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and acting with discipline anyway. It's about showing up, charting setups when tired, reviewing trades when discouraged, and sticking to the plan when temptation says, deviate. It's about asking, did I follow my process? Not just, did I make money? Because they know, when process becomes religion, profits become inevitable. They don't measure success by a single week. They zoom out. They study performance over quarters, over years. They track emotional triggers, not just equity curves. Because the goal is not fast profits, it's sustained longevity. The goal is not to win every trade, it's to win the war. They understand drawdown is inevitable, but they also understand drawdown is data. Drawdown reveals flaws in execution, weaknesses in risk management, and cracks in mindset. So they don't avoid it. They study it. They refine through it. They emerge stronger. Their edge isn't just technical, it's psychological. It's emotional resilience. It's patience under pressure. It's clarity in chaos. Professionals invest in their mind as much as their method. They read books. They meditate. They journal. They seek mentorship. They stay curious. Because as Mark Douglas said, you don't need to know what's going to happen next to make money. You just need to know yourself, to trust your edge, to manage your risk, to stick to the plan. They don't chase freedom through shortcuts. They build it through structure. They don't rely on hype. They build habits. They aren't moved by fear. They're moved by vision. And every day, they recommit. They recommit to focus, to patience, to growth. This is the path. This is the profession. This is the mindset. This is MetaMind Mantras. Listen to this every day. Let it rewire your fear, reset your focus, and remind you, you're already becoming.